I love what I do. I love being able to help people. I love being able to see the progress, from day one when we have our first conversation to each soul is different. Some will come for one session. I'll have some that will come for multiple sessions. And just watching that growth and that light spark within them, going from that negative state and holding on to all that trauma, everything that's holding them down, and stepping into their divine light.
Everything is working out for me. It's working out for you, too. It just takes believing that it is. We can have, be, and do anything. The key is to care about how you feel and choose to feel good right now. I'm here today with Sarrah Smith with holylighthealing.com. She just did an amazing reading for me. She channels a collective consciousness named Ezekiel, and that's for a new show I'm putting together that I'm going to be putting out for you guys, all focused on intuitive readings. But today we get to talk to Sarrah, and we get to talk about some really fun stuff that I'm excited about, because she has a perspective on law of attraction and your thoughts and how to be a better, more productive manifester. So we're going to get into that. Sarrah, thanks for being here on the show. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
Can you please introduce yourself to everybody? Tell them a little bit about your business, what your intention is for this life that you're creating.
Okay, so my name is Sarrah Smith. I am the founder of the Holy Light Intuitive Energetic Healing. I am the voice for the collective Ezekiel, and together we are sharing the message of healing, bringing humanity back to that state of healing to reach that frequency of unconditional love. And with Holy Light is a modality that they gifted to me. I channeled everything from them. The symbols, how to do the ignitions, everything all came from them. And it was a modality that was used back in the time of Lemuria. And it's now just brought back to humanity because of the state that the world is in. And, we all need healing right now. And it's a deeper healing. It uses the universal energy with quantum light to get right down to the soul core of your wounds and your trauma from this lifetime, from past lifetimes, from like your ancestral traumas. It helps to break the karmic bounds that keep pulling you back. And it brings healing on not just on the soul level, but on the cellular level as well. So it's a very deep and powerful healing that really allows you to truly let go of everything that is holding you back, so that you can step into that divine soul being that you are destined to be, and creating the life that you deserve.
This modality, is this something that you were doing? Like, you received the information on how to do it, and this is something that you do with clients?
Yes. So this is a modality that I did receive, that I put together. I do work on clients with this modality. I do also have students. I do teach this modality as well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, because when I was speaking with Ezekiel, there was a time where I was emotional, and Ezekiel brought some childhood trauma to light for me and did kind of some healing for me. And so this isn't something you have to channel for in order to... Okay.
No, you don't have to channel for that. It's a modality that when they did walk the earth, this was a modality that they used.
Okay. I understand.
Yes. So it flows through them, and they've gifted me with the information, how to use it, how to teach it, what the symbols are, how to use the symbols, what symbols do what, and all that.
How does this play in with law of attraction and being a more productive manifester?
Here it is. When you're manifesting, like when you're looking at law of attraction and you're looking at manifesting and bringing your dreams to reality, the very beginning of our journey starts with healing. If you don't begin to heal your limited beliefs, if you don't begin to heal those old stories, those negative thoughts, that spiral of negativity that you feed yourself, it's going to make bringing your manifestations to life a lot harder. Not saying that it's not going to happen. You can manifest. We are divine beings. We are destined to manifest. But it'll take a lot longer, because when you're sitting in that feeling of, they tell you, see it, feel it, believe it, it's yours, right? So you take your time, you write down, okay, this is what I want to bring in, this is what I'm letting go. And then, you get into that feeling like you've already got it, it's yours, it's there. And it feels really good, right? And now they tell you, you've done this, it's yours. Now, 5 minutes later, those thoughts creep in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yep.
deserve this. I'm not worthy. This will never happen for me. Good things don't happen for me. You've just undone all that work.
Yeah.
You've just undone all that work that you put into bringing that manifestation to life. Like I said, it's not that it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen as quickly, right?
Yeah. Right.
Where you begin to heal and you're able to free yourself from those limited beliefs, from everything that is holding you back, from that negative self-talk, raising your vibration and allowing yourself to love unconditionally, love yourself unconditionally.
Mm.
Then it will speed up the process of manifestation, because you're going to get into that feeling. You're going to feel it, see it, believe it. It's yours. But you're actually going to believe that it's yours, because you now believe it. You now see the potential that you have always had within. It's just releasing those beliefs. It's releasing those traumas, releasing all that is holding you back. And it starts with healing.
Okay. So now the thoughts. You were touching on intrusive thoughts. You mentioned that. You're like, okay, you do all this work, and then all of a sudden here come the thoughts back in, and you undo all the work. So I just got back from vacation, and I had something happen that I'm going to share with you because I think that it relates to this topic. When we talk about manifesting, usually we're talking about the things we want to manifest, but everything is a manifestation. And sometimes we're manifesting things we don't want, depending on our vibration and our energy and what we're offering. And that's exactly what happened to me. We went down to Seaside, Oregon, family vacation. It's the first time my husband's ever taken time off in the summer. We took our kids down there. And if you've ever been to Seaside, Oregon, you know that it's like a boardwalk city, and there's a lot of arcades, and there's bumper cars and laser tag. And I have a lot of resistance and old beliefs that I'm working on getting rid of that have to do with germs. I used to get sick a lot because I believed if I was around anybody sick, I was going to catch it. Now, I know now that I have to be vibrating at the same frequency as germs in order for me to get sick. Well, my kids are running around touching all these things that everybody's touching. And I let it creep in, and I started freaking out about our hands being clean. And I started saying, we got to go wash our hands before we eat, or just don't touch your face. Don't touch your nose. And I knew it was happening, and I felt the intrusive thoughts come on, and I kept trying to push it away. And by the last day of the 5 days, I woke up with a sore throat. And I totally manifested that. And I knew I had.
Yep.
What would you say to somebody? How do you not do that?
So first of all, your thoughts become your reality, right? The more you think it, the more it's going to come to light. Now, when you get hyper focused on something, especially something that you don't want to happen, the universe doesn't understand no. The universe doesn't understand not. So when you say, I don't want to get sick, or don't get sick, what the universe is hearing is get sick.
Yes.
Get sick. So when you're hyper focused, that is what you're bringing into your reality. So it's really really watching your words and your thoughts so that you don't manifest what it is that you don't want to bring into light.
100%.
Right? It's not an easy task to do, but when you catch yourself, you're thinking like, oh my God, I don't want to get sick, or I'm going to get sick. Stop yourself. Just, cancel, delete. Those are not my thoughts. That's not what I'm feeling right now. And switch your focus to what it is that you're doing. Like, you know what? We're having a good time. We're enjoying ourselves. Let's go wash our hands. Just take because that is a part of who you are right now, right? Like
Right.
there's healing around that still needs to take place. The pandemic did not help to make you hypersensitive around that issue. But instead of like focusing on the outcome of, okay, we don't wash our hands, we're going to get sick.
Yeah.
Take it to, you know what, let's just go wash our hands.
Yeah.
Not about sickness. It's just about hygiene. We're just looking at hygiene.
There were a few times where I noticed I was doing it, and then I said, just stop for a second and look around. And I looked around, and there's, all these people there. And I'm like, I don't see a single sick person. Everybody looks so well. Nobody's coughing or sneezing or anything like that to make me think that they're not. So then I started thinking, I'm surrounded by people that are healthy. Like that was a little softer thought. It was easier to do that, even though those intrusive ones still got in there and got in the way. But what is it? So how does this relate with something that needs to be healed? Because obviously I have something that's ingrained in me. It's deep-seated. That is something I'm trying to work through to get over.
Real quick, before I get back to this topic, I want to know if you have a product or service that aligns with the content here on the Dr. Williams podcast. If so, this space could be your advertisement. Reach out to me by going to drwilliamspodcast.com. Okay, back to the episode.
So it could be from childhood. It could even be as far as a past life. Maybe as a child you got really sick, or in a past life you got really sick and you're afraid of getting that sick again. So now you've built up this defense mechanism, right? To be hypersensitive, to be almost like a germaphobe.
Yeah.
But now you can't control those thoughts because it's ingrained in you to be like, I don't want to get sick again. And that's your brain. That is your brain trying to protect you from experiencing what it was that you experienced in the past. So whether it was when you were a child or in a past life, you've just carried that forward. So again, it begins with healing, right? To release and let go of what that trauma was. Our limited thoughts, our limited beliefs are all tied to traumas, wounds that we carry, right? So when we release those, when we begin to heal, the less those thoughts will come in.
This is a good example of something that you would work on, something like this with a client. This is something that you could, identify that this is an area for healing. And then you would do your modality with this person to heal that on all levels of their being. And then what do people say when you do this? What are the results? Do they notice something right away? Or do they report back to you like, this is amazing, I'm a totally different person?
I have had amazing feedback. I have yet to have somebody give me feedback where they really did not enjoy the healing. It depends on each individual, how much you're actually willing to release and let go, right? Because it's scary. Yes, you want to heal, you want to bring all that good stuff in, but when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, when you're ready to step into that moment where you're ready to let go, sometimes fear creeps in. And it stems from, you've carried these traumas. They're so embedded in you. It's a part of you, right? So who are you without this trauma? You've identified yourself with these traumas for so long that it's scary to think of, who are you without them? When I do find that someone is falling into that state where they're beginning to hold up a little bit of a resistance, I will stop and I will have a soul-to-soul talk with them. I will say, you know what? You are safe. You're okay. Like whatever each individual is an individual, so everybody is different. It's whatever that soul needs at the time to really relax into it. And I've had great results from doing that too, from people who are a little resistant. And I've had people say like they feel amazing that, they don't have the same anxieties that they used to have. They feel lighter. They feel free. I had one client who was afraid to speak. They could not speak. they would literally freeze. The idea of being in
Anytime?
front of anytime. The idea of being in front of a camera, like they could have a conversation, but I mean like speaking, like to do a live or
I see.
to do like a public speaking.
Social anxiety.
Yes. Yeah. Social anxiety. Like they would freeze up, like literally be in tears. They'd be so scared. They're now doing live videos. They're doing
Okay.
videos on their own. They're doing speaking events. Like they've really stepped into who they are. And it was from healing. I had another client who carried so much of her trauma in her shoulder that she wasn't able to raise it. Like this is the furthest she'd be able to
Wow.
raise it. And it would be so painful that they were actually going to do surgery. After the first session, she was able to go like this with her shoulder.
Wow.
By the time we had her through our third session, she had full mobility back in her shoulder.
So
does
she
not
was
need
literally
surgery.
holding her trauma in her shoulder, and it
Mhm.
was manifesting in this physical pain and inability to move.
Yes.
And you were able
Yeah,
to clear it, and it healed.
that's correct.
That's
And
incredible.
that's the thing. Like a lot of the pains and the ailments that we're holding in our body, 90% of it is attached to trauma. It's attached to what we're holding on to that we're not letting go of. And it just manifests in our bodies because it's got nowhere to go. We just keep pushing it down, pushing it down. And then it shows up in illnesses, it shows up in pain, it shows up in injuries, right?
Yeah. I'm thinking about everyone I know, and it seems like somebody always has some kind of ailment, some kind of physical thing they're struggling with. And then here we are, we're talking about being this productive master manifester, and that really is manifesting, and they're creating that because of this hurt and the pain and the trauma that really isn't being released. And so then it's manifesting in this negative physical way that people
Yes.
really want to get rid of, but without knowing how to do it. And I think it's wonderful that you know how to do it.
I love it. I love what I do. I love being able to help people. I love being able to see the progress, from day one when we have our first conversation to each soul is different. Some will come for one session. I'll have some that will come for multiple sessions. And just watching that growth and that light spark within them, going from that negative state and holding on to all that trauma, everything that's holding them down, and stepping into their divine light,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So I haven't said this before. I'm going to just come out with it. This is something I've been thinking about for a long time. But I really have this strong desire. Science is all about evidence and supportive evidence. And in mental health, we have to follow certain kind of modalities for mental health treatment that are science-based. They're evidence-based. Well, what I want to do is I want to make intuition evidence-based, because I really truly believe that is the way of the future for people to heal in all ways. Because what you're doing, you're healing the whole person with your intuition.
Yeah. Yeah. It's following the guide, holy light, intuitive, energetic healing. And it's listening. So when I do the healing, I get the energy, I'm merely just a vessel. Okay. So anybody that's familiar with energy healing, like say Reiki or, the healing hands, you're just the vessel. The energy flows through you, but you are just the vessel. Now, when I heal, it's Ezekiel that I do connect with, and they intuitively guide me where the energy needs to flow. Right. So with Holy Light, the difference is like there is no rhyme or reason. I don't have a flow that I go through and like, so you start at the crown and work your way. I start at the heart center and I go where the energy flows. I go where Ezekiel guides me to go to release what it is that you're holding on to. And it's all intuition. It's trusting that guidance. It's trusting that intuition coming in. And we all have it. Each and every single human soul on this earth has intuition. We are all gifted. It's just whether or not you choose to accept those gifts, whether you choose that you want to use them or not. And a lot of times, if you're choosing not to use it, it's because of a limited belief.
I agree.
But we all have that. We are all gifted with that. And just really start using it. Like,
I agree.
Seriously.
But
seriously, you would save yourself so much heartache, so much pain if you just listen to that intuition.
Sometimes it's hard to, like for me, I worked with kids in therapy for years, but it's hard for me to apply it to my own kids. Like sometimes it's hard to do it for yourself. And that's why it's great that you're offering this for people that can't do it for themselves. They have the potential to, but if it's one of those things where you feel blocked and you can't tune into it to heal yourself, you can come to Sarrah and she can do it for you, which is amazing. So let's tell everybody how they could do that if they want to work with you.
Yeah, you can connect with me through my website at holylighthealing.com. You can email me at sarrahsmith@holylighthealing.com. And you can also find me on Facebook and Instagram, Holy Light Healing.
Great. Well, I really would like to see this kind of healing work, this kind of wellness work in hospitals. Like imagine the world we would live in if this was science-based and it was, covered by insurance. Can you even imagine that world?
That would be amazing.
Incredible.
That would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Well, goals, right? we can.
You're onto something. You're onto something big.
Yeah.
I don't know what Ezekiel said to you earlier, but refer back to that. You're onto something.
Oh, I just got goosebumps. So, okay.
Sorry, like I said, I don't know what they said to you. I'm just hearing refer back to the message.
Oh my gosh, that's huge. Okay. Well, everybody's going to have to listen to that episode when I get the podcast out if they want to know what it was. And
right?
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much for being here on the show and sharing that. That was a wonderful conversation. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. I really enjoyed being here. Thank you for having me. I'm honored.
If you're enjoying the podcast, you can show your support by leaving a rating and a review on your favorite podcast platform. You also can follow Dr. Williams' podcast on all social media platforms and subscribe on YouTube and by going to www.drwilliamspodcast.com. Deliberate creation is the key to living life satisfied. And that is my wish for all of you.